Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, July 31st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. And then finally, if you would like for me to do an analysis on one of your positions, just comment down below and I will do my best to get to that in a future top 10 video. So stock number one here, we are looking at ticker symbol LUMN. Monster move. Yeah, it did pull back a little bit from its highs right here, but overall still hanging in there. It created a nice solid pattern here. So let's get this mapped out. First part of the pattern I want to focus on is more so the support part of it, which is via this trend line right there. So if you like to play pullbacks or just buy at supports, and this is a very interesting level, which of course there are no guarantees, but given the track record now that this thing is starting to form of providing support, especially right there, if the price were to come down here, again, no guarantees, but valid to think that the price could potentially curl back up off of that point. So keep an eye on that from a support standpoint. And then in terms of areas of resistance, key level to watch moving forward right here at $2.78, which gives us essentially, let's keep it one color, resistance, support, big move up right here. For you golfers, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, you like stocks down below $3, I would definitely keep an eye on it. But definitely huge volume. A lot of people talking about this one today. So we'll see if the momentum can show back up tomorrow with a good solid break through the upside of that pattern. Next one, IMNN. Again, IMNN. As a reminder, you can see the ticker symbols up there because I know sometimes those letters can sound the same. But once again, big move today. It's consolidated out here, but within the consolidating has formed another good solid pattern. So let's just start first with this area. So the resistance part of the pattern right there. Support part of the pattern down there. Again, green for support. And then to make it easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the huge explosive move right there. We have the golf hole down here. So we have ourselves yet another bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, you definitely have a couple different choices to keep an eye on down in the same price range. But yes, that's just sometimes how the market goes, is you'll have same types of patterns on relatively similar price stocks. So you kind of got to choose which of the patterns you actually like the best. But nonetheless, this is definitely one that fits a whole lot of good bullish criteria. Next one, ATPC, and overall very, very impressive opening 30 minutes. You can see right there, huge volume bar. Price ran all the way up to here, and this is where hopefully day traders were using stop losses, because then there's been this very nasty pullback. But within the pullback, the price has at least started to alleviate out, in the sense of it's not like it's going straight down. It's got more of an angle to it like that. Whereas, if the price was still just doing something like this, that would still imply there's a whole lot of strong selling pressure. Now, yes, there is still selling pressure, but it's more than valid to say, I think the selling pressure is kind of running out of steam here, because the price has essentially started to go sideways. And that's the whole premise of it is, yes, strong move up. Yeah, nasty pullback, but it's now starting to go sideways. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because there's been a spike and the price has come down and now the price is going sideways does not mean for sure guaranteed because it's going sideways, this thing's getting ready to turn back upwards. My point here is it's a whole lot more rational compared to if the price was still just dropping straight down and me saying, hey, I think this could be the bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, I mean, what are you talking about? It's dropping straight down, but that's not the case here. It has at least started to go sideways. So if you like these sorts of pullbacks where you get a big move and then you get a bit of a pullback and then you get some sideways movement, you like penny stocks, definitely keep an eye on it. Now this one is tricky to talk about, ticker symbol SERV, because of it's all the perspectives. If you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there, or maybe you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes after buying, from that standpoint, the chart looks very, very rough for you. Now, if you care about the big picture point of view, yes, no doubt about it, there was this big pullback right here. But from the overall trend perspective, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, But if you have, you know that I've been talking about that purple line there, 50 period moving average. And you can see that even with this big old pullback, the price hasn't even tested that, let alone broken down below it. Now, if the price were to break down below the purple line over the next couple of days, then yes, the conversation starts to change from a bigger picture standpoint. But just from that angle alone, everything is still completely healthy. And just to give even more context, as you can see here, the price is still much higher than where it was. So, I mean, and this is not the first pullback. There is a pullback. There is a pullback. There is a pullback. There is a pullback. And yes, here is yet another pullback. And you can notice that all these other pullbacks did ultimately lead to new highs. Does that mean that this is going to for sure happen? No, but does it make it a valid question to throw out there and say, hey, you know, I think there's some good potential that this thing could, you know, potentially push back upwards? Yeah, the track record is there. So if you like to play trends, you like to play pullbacks within trends, then certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, NVDA. Did this one previously, and this will mean a little bit more to those who have watched that one, the previous videos, but I've talked about that 111.40 mark time and time again. Important level of support. You can see opening 30 minutes here, the price actually broke down below there, and that absolutely opened up the floodgates, and down it went. So yes, that level has now been destroyed, and I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that if it served its purpose for now, and map out the first key area of resistance. At least I think the price is still, yeah, right here at the 106.30 mark, and this is just, whoops, let me move. There we go. This is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support. So right here, this was a very important level of support. That was the lowest it got during that previous big sell-off. But when levels of support are broken, they tend to act as resistance. And you can see that level was broken right there. And then surprise, surprise, in this bounce, look right where the price found difficulty. Essentially right at 106.30. Does that mean 106.30 can never be broken back up above? I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price is getting rejected at that level, and that moving forward, that is where that 106.30 initial area of resistance is coming from. And then in terms of areas of support, nothing complicated here in terms of logic, other than just asking the question, where did the bleeding finally stop today? And the bleeding finally stopped right there, a couple candles right in a row at 102.50. So for that reason alone, that is where I would say to keep a close eye on that, just because the price, that's where it finally, bears tried 2 candles in a row to push down through, but 102.50 did hold strong. So keep an eye on that. Maybe the price comes down here and does some sort of double bottom. We'll have to see how it plays out on Wednesday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here in a couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching at my website itself, there's an area on the page that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. Next one here, ticker symbol TLRY, and overall pretty crazy day, and with some movement here in the last 30 minutes as I speak. You can see good, solid, healthy last 30 minutes as it's trying to come back to life here. And that's really the big question to throw out there. So let me just offer up a little context. Nice little support trend line has been established. And then the key dynamic here, and what the question revolves around, is you can see right here, there was this little consolidation channel, but the price is now going up through there. Which leads to a very exciting question. Is this the start of something bigger? Now think about that question. If nothing worthwhile is happening, it makes no sense to say, hey, is this the start of something bigger? Well, if nothing's occurred, but something here is occurring. Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this is some sort of false move. This thing just rolls right back over. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, maybe it is the start of something bigger and this thing's getting ready to rock and roll and break out that much more, maybe retest those highs again. So that's the whole dynamic of what makes a watch list interesting, is you got to find those situations that are attractive to you, fit your strategy, fit your style, and not necessarily rush out and randomly buy stuff, but at least watch it and keep an eye on it. So if you do like these scenarios where you're getting breakouts, you're getting potential here of a whole new round of momentum to the upside, you like this price range, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and yesterday I talked about how this one made a pretty impressive move, actually broke up through this sideways channel that we had been tracking, but that was very short-lived because with this movement down right there, you can see the price is essentially right back to where it was on Friday. So on Friday, the price closed essentially right there. If I just draw a line over like this, you can see, not exact, but certainly same general idea. So the big movement from Monday has been totally wiped away. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level for now and then just do the update when levels of support are broken. They tend to act as resistance. So get this changed to red. And we're right now back to that same old thing that I've been talking about quite a bit last week. There we go. This sideways channel right here. So yes, today disappointing in the sense of you couldn't maintain the gains that it made on Monday, but also not a total train wreck What would be a total train wreck? Well, if the price were to come down here and then blast down through the bottom part of the channel, that's where you have a very big problem. So that didn't happen. So yes, if you're a day trader and you bought right there, really, really bad. But from the overarching standpoint, the price is still maintaining above that 214.50, and ultimately that's what matters most. Next one, SQQQ, very popular ETF out there, been getting a huge amount of volume, and today really got another leg back to the upside as the momentum showed back up. It had consolidated out, so just crudely. So there was that trend line in there. I had been tracking this one, but this trend line unfortunately was not mapped out. But for anybody that did notice that trend line and then played the break right there, you got yourself a beautiful breakout. So let's get some things updated here. So moving forward, as far as resistance levels, no fancy logic here, just other than where did the party finally stop today? And the party essentially stopped right there at, let's just call it $9.60. So like I said, don't overthink it. This big old explosion here finally had enough sellers show up right there to knock it back down. So 960 will be the key battleground and, you know, public enemy number one from the resistance standpoint on Wednesday. In terms of levels of support, preferably speaking, if the price could stay above this level right there at $9.30, that would make the chart very, very impressive. But it's not like if the price falls below there, that implies the entire chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. From the overarching standpoint, what matters the most is all about that purple line, 50-period moving average. So as that line moves itself higher and higher, as long as the price stays above there, then overall the bulls are doing just fine. So yes, staying above 930 would be very impressive. But you know, overarching and just trend building standpoint, staying above that purple line, absolutely nothing to worry about. But yeah, overall, very, very impressive day. Next one, PCSA, very, very ugly looking chart here, but for you longer time viewers, you know what I'm going to say next. There can be opportunity in the ugly, and we're getting some, we're getting some movement here that suggests that maybe this pullback is over. I probably should have put this at a different location in the watch list because it follows the same general idea of, yes, strong start, big move down, but now the price is at least starting to go sideways. And as I mentioned earlier, just because something's going sideways doesn't mean that it's the bottom and doesn't mean that for sure guaranteed it's going back upwards, but it just becomes a whole lot more plausible. So on that note, by definition, the key support is you're going to want to watch just because this is where the price has finally stopped going down. So if we were to go down there and break below $2, well, essentially that just means that the pullback has continued. So it makes no more sense to say, is this the bottom? Well, no, because it's putting a new low. So $2 is important from that angle. And then if this thing is going to get any sort of more upside momentum, the level that stands out to me right there around that $2.30 mark. So high volume break of 230, I think has a good realistic chance of, creating more momentum. And then, potentially, I don't know if necessarily pushing back up to these highs right here that quickly, but I suppose you never know. But definitely a high volume break of that level would certainly be a good start to suggest that maybe there's another round of momentum to show up. Next one, TQQQ, very rough day on this one. Like Tesla had been in the sideways channel, this one was also in a sideways channel, but unlike Tesla, this never actually broke out of the channel, but today it actually broke to the downside. So right there was not a good situation at all. However, to give credit where credit's due, the bulls did step back up. They said, nope, we're done going down. Got a nice bounce, got back up above $62, and then now kind of just cruising right above there. So from that angle of things, yes, the bottom part of the channel certainly did get weakened, but you still got to consider it a level of support. So watch $62 moving forward as that key level of support. And then right down there at that level too, at 61.35 would be another level to watch just based on the fact of where the price bounced from today. If there's any sort of movement back upwards, yes, you still do have the overarching top of the channel up there at 67.40, but before you really put any emphasis on that, the price is now going to first have to prove itself by being able to get above and stay above that purple line there, 50-period simple moving average. But yeah, rough day today here. However, like I said, it could have been a whole lot rougher had this bleeding continued, but it did bounce enough to get back inside of that sideways channel. I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely go get signed up for the free live webinar. It'll be soon in a couple of days, Thursday, August 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it is a genuine live event, and I say that because there is a Q&A session. So if you have questions, bring them, and I'd be happy to answer them live for you. Now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now looking at the 4-hour time frame, not the 30-minute. So each one of these represents 4 hours of time. And that is because Bitcoin is open 24/7. And from the video standpoint, I want this analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible. So doing this longer time frame helps out with that. But yeah, Bitcoin continues with the pullback. Now, none of this is ultimately bearish from a bigger picture standpoint. Once more, that's all about perspective. Day traders that were buying right there thinking it was going to break out, yeah, they're getting crushed right now. But hopefully they had stop losses. But if you do care about Bitcoin from the overall standpoint, everything is still perfectly fine. So to keep this, analysis relevant, let me just walk you through a couple questions to ask yourself. And let's just base this that you're watching this video 15, 20 hours after I upload it. So question number one becomes, where is the price at relative to that purple line right there? In any way, shape, or form, if you're answering the question that the price is up above that purple line, that is telling you that Bitcoin, I'm not going to say the chart is absolutely beautiful, but it's certainly starting to show some signs of progress, because that means it has leveled out, curled back up enough to get above that level, which you can see right now, that purple line is being kind of annoying, but that's just classic acting as resistance. So like I said, any answers of the price up above that level, so if you want a value, you could just call it right around $67,000, then Bitcoin doing very well. Now if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, I'm watching this 20 hours from now, price is still down below there. Okay, next immediate question, where's the price at relative to 63,250? If somehow you're answering the question that the price is down below there, then that's a red flag. And I'm not going to say it game over, but yeah, that'd be kind of sketchy. However, if you're answering the question that the price is still above there, but it is down below that purple line, well, then that would just be consolidation. That's really the best way to kind of map that out. Is a consolidation, not as good of the consolidation that would be if the price was above the purple line, but still nothing to totally freak out about, because again, assuming you care about the bigger picture and then looking at things, everything is still at a much higher level than where it was just a couple weeks ago. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to get signed up for this free webinar, because what you're learning about can and definitely should be used within the world of crypto and Bitcoin. So definitely get signed up. Like I said, it'll be in a couple of days, Thursday, August 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and bring your questions. Like I said, there will be a live Q&A session. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do a couple things. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Let me know your watch list for tomorrow. Give me a request, like I said earlier, and I'll do my best to get to that in a future video. But thank you for watching. Go get signed up for that free class. Take care.